it is not the fact that the wealthy are not paying enough taxes. And the simple fact of the matter is, anytime anybody claims it, they always talk about the tax rate. It's the percentage that they're paying. Why? Because the rich can be paying a lower tax rate, a smaller percentage of what they own. However, the amount that's actually being paid under that lower tax rate, in many cases, is more than most of us make in a year. So they are paying their fair share. They do. I believe the last statistics I saw, the top 1% already pays more than 50% of the taxes.
And 50% of people
How?
pay no taxes. But I think it's even bigger than that. It goes to incompetency. It's not just about the math. It's when you have a president, at least a teleprompter reader, actually making the argument that raising taxes on corporate America will lower inflation. Hello,
And
welcome to the funny farm.
that goes back to the fact that Democrats do not, especially on the far left, do not understand how businesses run. When you raise the minimum wage and businesses have to pay their employees more, when you raise the taxes on the businesses, these are costs. Well, when a business has to pay more to manufacture what they're making or to provide the service they're providing, that cost gets passed on at some point to the consumer.
Of course, it's
So it
inflationary, but
actually
it's economics 101, Dr. Lopkin. A
yes.
president of the United who thinks we're that stupid to believe everything's white nationalist and voodoo, to quote George H. Bush, economics. I mean, it's almost insulting. I'm like a high school economics student would know more. Just common sense, genius.
Yeah, it really is. But again, common sense doesn't exist on the far left.
No, it does not. And speaking of common sense and enthusiasm, here's one thing. Getting back to the Roe versus Wade, I think that that's a issue people are concerned about, but they're also concerned about survival. I was driving today in Connecticut, again on a Wednesday. Gas is almost $5 a gallon. It's $7 on average in California. And economists and people in the petroleum industry believe that it's not far fetched to see gas prices double. That means in Connecticut, $9, $9.50 a gallon. That would scare the shit out of any working class person or anyone else.
Oh, yeah. I mean, we're already seeing people talking to their employers about staying virtual, not because they're concerned with COVID anymore, but because they can't afford the gas to go into the office on a regular basis. I've spoken to a number of business owners. They're taking steps to make sure most of their meetings are done virtually. If they are doing stuff outside of the office, they're grouping things together in a tight geographic region so they can go to that one place, park the car, and then walk from place to place because the cost of gas is hitting everyone.
Yes, and it also
And
has ancillary repercussions because, well, duh, you're not going to go to the movies with the kids. You're not going to go to restaurants. You're not going to drive to the amusement park. It has ripple effects that have not been fully realized. And when we do talk about incompetency, we need to talk about, Jen Psaki. She was not incompetent. I might not believe in her ideas, but she was highly competent, in my opinion. Well, the new press secretary, at least her initial debut, was not impressive. And why do I bring it up? I'm not picking on her, but Jen Psaki was the great protector of an incompetent administration, at least a deflector. Without a barrier or a firewall like that, he could be in deeper shit. I don't know if that's possible. What's your thoughts, Dr. Lopkin?
yeah, I don't know how much deeper he can get. He's in pretty deep right now. I am going to actually push back on the possibility that they're not completely incompetent. Because if you remember going back to the Obama administration was big on green energy too. And the Obama Secretary of Energy specifically said they were aiming to get gas at $7 a gallon so people would stop driving, so they would start turning to green energy. Honestly, I think the gas prices are, for the most part, a continuation of that policy. Let's make the American people so uncomfortable and so unable to afford gas that they start looking at where we want them to look. Now, we saw during the Obama administration that this actually does not work. When gas gets up to a certain amount, the oil companies will start drilling a lot, as much as they can, because it's very profitable at that point, which in turn pushes down the cost of gas. But
Yeah, I still think there's a
they
degree of incompetency. I think it's a
there's a
combination of
degree.
both. Because here's what you're. I think that with the Biden administration, I think, and Obama, if you had an actual strategist, someone that actually had a brain, they would maybe have a long term incentivize companies. You don't have to punish people to make this happen. You can have a mini Manhattan project. Look at all the trillions we are pissing away. Why couldn't you incentivize, emerging technologies, these kind of things? So I think it's a combination of both. I think it's a willingness to go green in spite of everything, almost like a kamikaze attack or approach,
Yeah,
and also incompetency. It's a good mixture
there's
of both.
yeah, there's definitely a combination. I mean, nobody can claim the Biden administration is competent, but there are certain things they want to do that are bad for the American people, but they don't care. They have their agenda and they want to do this.
Oh, well, I think it
Yeah.
transcends just gas. I mean, they're not
Oh,
that
yeah.
stupid. They have economists in the White House knowing spending $3 trillion on an already emerging economy is going to be inflation. But hell or high water, they wanted their socialist agenda instated, no matter what the costs were on the
Well,
so-called average people that they love so much.
I think that's more than just incompetence, because yes, they knew it was going to cause inflation. They didn't care.
Oh
Why?
no, I don't. No,
Because
no,
the
you
only way.
misunderstood me. That's not. No, I'm saying that was willing. I'm supporting your point that
Oh,
they
yeah.
knew it was going to hurt the average person that they so love. But the, screw them. We need to have this social. They knew what they were doing. That is my point.
Well,
I mean, they're not that
right.
stupid.
What I'm saying is it's more than just trying to push a socialist agenda. The left knows the only way they're going to get people to vote for them is to buy their votes. So they try to push these huge stimulus packages. Obama era economists told Joe Biden point blank, before they passed the American Rescue Act, that it was going to cause inflation. They didn't care because they need to buy votes.
Well, it's a little bit convoluted thinking. I agree. I agree with what you're saying. But again, I'm still going to hold on to you can't escape incompetency. Okay, so you give someone $3 in aid, but it costs them $20 more to live their lives or feed their babies if they even can. Not a good equation. Um, but also speaking about incompetency, the disinformation arm of the socialist administration of Biden doesn't look like. I think they didn't foresee the bad press. Jenkowitz, the nut job that was going to head it, woof, Mary Poppins, whatever, is rumored that she's not going to take the position or resign, whatever you want to call it.
Well, Republicans have already put bills forward to strip the Department of Homeland Security of the funding needed to make this disinformation board happen. And let's face it, if the Republicans do capture both houses,
Which they will.
Biden's going to have a hard yeah, Biden's going to have a hard time defending the disinformation board. But I think it comes to the point where There is no prep work being done. Everything takes this administration by surprise. The backlash against the disinformation board took them by surprise. Inflation took them by surprise. Higher gas prices took them by surprise. The Taliban overrunning Afghanistan took them by surprise. The southern border took them by surprise. We keep hearing that over and over again. At this point, I think the sun rising every morning takes them by surprise.
You're probably no. Actually, you know what really takes him by surprise? Biden having a coherent address in any forum that would truly take them by
Well,
surprise.
that takes everybody by surprise.
There. Well, speaking of taking people for a surprise, someone that or scaring people, two people that really scare the shit out of me is Nancy Pelosi and our dear Senator Dick Blumenthal. Nancy Pelosi has a photo op, and you got to just pinch yourself and go, "What the f is going on here?" So we're in the middle of this hyperinflation. People are worried about putting gas in their tank, feeding their babies with formula, or even getting the formula. And she's got a picture of her going into some highfalutin retail establishment with obviously a limousine, flashing like a platinum American Express with $1,000 pantsuit. The thing we talk about all the time, getting back 2 weeks ago with Bernie going first class to rally for the socialist candidate and the senatorial candidate in PA. These people are so out of touch. They give a shit about you, I, or our listeners like you care about going to the moon.
Yeah, it is a matter of being out of touch. It's like that's not a photo op. Now, I'm not saying she can't go shopping,
Fine.
but you don't bring the cameras around. It's bad optics. People are struggling going to pay for food, and she's going on a shopping spree. And this isn't the first time she's done this. She had a photo op showing off her
Your
$1,000
zero was
kitchen
called
appliances.
zero something fridge with like $10 ice cream. I mean, but you see, it's real. It's not really. That's the circle these people travel in. They don't know, and they just pull up. The gas could be $10, $20 a gallon. What the hell do they care?
Right,
And they go to their
they're
little
not filling up,
vineyard
so they
parties.
don't realize it.
Agreed. And how about our esteemed? Oh God! And can you believe? Help me! Help me! Help me! They say he's a shoe-in for re-election. Blumenthal from the great state of Connecticut. Please help us.
Yeah, what Dick Blumenthal has done is criminal. Nancy Pelosi was just stupid, but Blumenthal is actually criminal. Congress voted to give Intel tax subsidies so that they would build a manufacturing plant, I believe in Ohio, but anyway, in the United States. Now, I have no problem with Congress giving companies tax subsidies to have them bring more jobs here. That's fine. What Blumenthal did, however, it has come out that several days before the vote, which everybody knew was going to pass, he bought Intel stock, and not a little bit. The description that I heard was they splurged on buying Intel stock because they knew the stock was going to go up after the vote.
It's called insider trading. I think Martha Stewart spent 6 months in jail for something that was a bunch of bullshit.
Martha Stewart went to jail for less than this.
That's what I'm saying.
This is insider trading. It is absolutely illegal, and Blumenthal should have to go to jail at this point.
But you and I know, and our listeners know, nothing's going to happen. If this was a Republican representative, they would be all over MSNBC. And the other thing I have to ask you, Dr. Lotkin, instead of screwing around, he's already rich and he was born on third base and thought he hit a triple. He's not, some guy who had to, pull himself up by the bootstraps. He was little Dickie Blumenthal, and he was a multimillionaire who was born. My question to you is, instead of screwing around and enhancing your greed, how about working to put that Intel plant in Connecticut that's hurting, instead of worrying about, engrossing your own overinflated net worth anyway that you didn't work a day for.